Crisscross, pulling floss, needle thread from black to red, pink, navy green, and in between, snuggles my brain. I'm Stitch Me Sane, and welcome to my FlossTube channel.
Hi FlossTube, my name's Carla. Welcome to my channel at Stitch Me Sane. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok. Today is Sunday the 5th of November here in Melbourne, Australia, and this is FlossTube number 15. Welcome to anyone who's new to my channel, and welcome to any returning subscribers. Thank you. If you are new, just to be clear, this is a channel about my love of all things cross-stitching. And if that's not your thing, you might want to move on because this is going to be a long video today. I have been sort of bringing it to people's attention that come November, I was going to be doing a 12-month WIP parade, and today's the day. I'm just shy of my 12-month anniversary and here on FlossTube, and it just suited my schedule that today's the day that we do the WIP parade. So I'm really excited. I have spent some time preparing all of my WIPs, and since my first WIP parade in November last year, that number has almost doubled. If anyone can recall how many WIPs I had back then, this video is going to be somewhat longer. I've had a lot of new starts in the last 12 months. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll be familiar with a lot of those. So yeah, grab some stitching and a drink and settle in and enjoy. You might notice that I actually have a spare chair next to me today, and I have had Dylan, my partner, helping me prepare the stats for this 12-month WIP parade. And I thought it a really good time to introduce you all to the man behind Stitch Me Sane's stats. So welcome to Dylan. Come on over.
Thank you. And I've brought a drink for this momentous occasion.
Ooh,
congratulations on 12 months on FlossTube.
Woo, thank you.
Really cool to be here. Really awesome to spend some time with you all this afternoon. I have heard some mega fond things about a number of regulars and those with whom Carla regularly engages, and I'm just well aware of the beauty of the community and how tightly knit it all is. So great to be here with you, and I look forward to this afternoon.
Hey, thank you. So he's going to hang out with us this afternoon because I've kind of got a bit of a production parade going here with all my WIPs. I've actually pulled them all out, and behind me there is the biggest mess you've ever seen. So I'm grateful for the help. Thank you. All right, so we are going to get started because actually, would you like to share with everybody how many WIPs I now have?
That's a wonderful question, and I'm sure there are an abundance of viewers wondering. Your WIP total now is just shy of what one might call half a century. You've hit the grand 48, and dare I say that you probably have about 48 years worth of stitching ahead of you with the WIPs on the current list.
Okay, so for those of you who have watched my first WIP parade in November last year, I had 27 then. So that number has grown
some
considerably.
annual growth.
And it's not going to slow down. I've got a lot planned as well. Anyway, as long as we enjoy what we do, right? Let's get started. So number one, and just so you know, I mean, there's so many different ways on how I could be presenting my WIPs, but we've sort of based it on a bit of a chronological start date order. So dating back to number one here, actually we'll start with the chart. So I will start with showing you the finished piece, whether that be, if it's a paper chart, I'll show you my piece of paper. If not, I will pop in a picture of the finished piece. And this one, the first one, I started on the 24th of October 2019. It is Blue Nude, and it's a famous piece of art that you're probably familiar with by Picasso. It is a cross stitch kit. This one by what are they? The Art of Stitch. And yeah, 2019, I should probably be nearly finished this. It's on 14 count Ada. Thank you. This is where we are at now. So it's being stitched 2 threads over 1. And I mean, I feel like I'm nearly finished, but where am I actually at?
Blue Nude currently is at 58% complete. However, what I will add there is that in the last 12 months between WIP parades, you've only knocked over 1.63%. And dare I say, I think this is one of those that is in the naughty corner for a mistake that you haven't been ready to undo and rectify just yet. So it might be about time that naughty corner can be a cold and lonely place.
Yeah, it's been in timeout for a little while because I've actually got a mistake up here somewhere. I've miscounted. I do need to frog it and get it back in. It's my eldest daughter's favourite WIP of mine, so it would be nice to be able to gift that to her maybe next year. But that's the first one off the list for today, and that's Blue Nude. Just so you know, if you're new to this channel, I am primarily a full coverage stitcher, but I do stitch on all types of fabric, all types of counts, and I have a few samplers and non-full coverage smalls as well, so I've got quite a variety. If that's something that interests you, stick around. Next one we have is another paper chart, and this was my first COVID start. It's a Gecko Rouge kit called Chicago. The artwork is by Heather Geller. They no longer chart, Gecko Rouge no longer chart Heather Geller, but Unconventional Cross Stitch now does. So if you're interested in this style of piece, you can check them out over there. This is being stitched on an 18 count Ada. And I'm stitching it 2 over 1. This is my middle daughter's favourite, Isla's, and I really love this one. I've actually been working on it in the last couple of weeks on the river down the bottom. That's where I am at. And I've only hit the border on one, which is down there near the river. This is my Bluey Needleminder, which is very popular on Instagram. It's an Australian kids cartoon. Fantastic. Where am I at, Dylan?
Chicago's currently is at 43%. To me, it looks like a little bit more when I look at that. It's really starting to take shape, and those colours are absolutely beautiful. But 43% is the number. 3%, just under 3% achieved in the last year.
Is that all?
That's all. That's all.
No. Okay. So that needs to improve, everybody. But I love this one. I love the colours. And it's quite popular on Instagram, I think, because of those colours. It just really pops, both on camera and in photos, I find. So that one is Chicago. Trying to keep them in some kind of neat pile over here that doesn't topple over by the end. All right, next one. Everybody knows this one. It was released as a free chart back in 2020 by Long Dog Samplers, and it is Pandemic. This is what it's going to look like. Excuse my finger, it will help with the editing down the track. So I started this one with my mum, who's already finished, and I'm at, where am I at?
Pandemic's currently at 57%, so well and truly over halfway and looking amazing. The catch with Pandemic is that you must have gone really, really hard on this one in the early days and then somewhat forgotten about it, because it received 0.34% progress in the last 12 months.
All right. In one of my past recent videos, you may recall that the stunted progress on this has come about because I need to frog this purple, yes, this bit here. It's completely out by one stitch, and when that happens, my whips tend to go into timeout, and I have to really put in an effort to get them back on track. So that's why that one's been sitting out. But I mean, it's a huge piece. I'm more than halfway, and realistically, I could probably finish it next year if I buckled down. I think the beauty about Pandemic is there's just so many variations of colour out there. Everybody's put their own creative flair to it, which most long dug samplers, you know, lend that opportunity to. And I was no different in getting creative with my own. All right, next one is glitch. So this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. I am going to go through really quickly. If you're interested in more detail about my pieces, go back and check out my past videos where I do talk about them in a bit more detail as I show them. But this one is glitch. It is a crazy jumble of colors. And this was my first piece actually on a darker Aida. So this is on a navy Aida, and it's in 18 count, and I'm stitching it 2/1 as I usually do on Aida. And this is where I'm at. So I'm just trying to fold it over there so you don't get the light coming through the back, because I know that that's really frustrating when we show darker fabrics. So there we are. I love this one. This is one of your favorites, isn't it?
I love glitch. Glitch is one of the first ones that I was integral in making the selection, and this really jumped out at me. This is the first one that I had proper input into, and it sprung right out at me, and I'm absolutely loving it. In terms of progress on this one, your numbers are sitting at 25%, so a solid quarter. What you've done now, do 3 more times, and you got yourself a finish.
This one also actually has the DMC light effects in it. So some fancy threads. Those neons there, there's 2, the yellow and the green, and they're sort of speckled throughout, which really gives it that sort of pop. It also reminds me of the TV test patterns that we used to have as a kid. I'm sure everyone's sort of, that age group would be thinking the same thing. All right, so if I didn't say it, that's the Vivsters, and you can find her over on Etsy. She's got some fantastic patterns, and if you love colour, I highly recommend you check that designer out. Oh, speaking of colour, all right, so you know who this is. Who is the designer of this piece?
Don't put me to shame. Of course I know that this is a Carolyn Manning, one of many.
This is my very first Carolyn Manning. So I'm fond of this one, and I would really like to finish it. Carolyn Manning is one of my favorite designers, and I think we've got 7 or 8 speckled, 8 now I think actually, 8 speckled throughout this. So if you're a Carolyn Manning fan, you're in luck today. This is what it's going to look like when it's finished. It's called Dragonfly. It's one of the Shooting Star, from the Shooting Star collection. And there's a lot of different colorways in this, of which I currently have 3 on the go of the Shooting Star collection. So this is Dragonfly. I am stitching this on 14 count Aida, 2/1. And I kind of got, I've kind of tackled this a number of different methods since starting. I went with the center, then I filled in the corner, and now I'm going a sort of diamond approach, so that I can get the whole piece in. But look at that colour. Reminds me of a kaleidoscope, this one. And this is one of Fleur's favourites, my youngest daughter. They all like to weigh in. Fleur more so than the other 2. She's got a few favourites that I'll highlight as we move along. This is the only one I'm actually doing on 14 count Aida. The coverage isn't bad. I like it, but this is the only one I have, and my preference with a Carolyn Manning has become either 18 count or 20 count, just depending on the design. So this is probably the only one I will stitch on 14 count moving forward. But I do have a lot of scrap 14 count Aida, which is really helpful for the Carolyn Mannings because they're often smaller designs.
So significant progress there as well.
Ooh.
Dragonfly is on 48%. Not quite halfway, almost there. It was a relatively slow year for Dragonfly, with just under 1,500 stitches done. However, given the progress, looking richly colourful, not to say it can't be one of your finishes next year if you're gunning for a Carolyn Manning finish. Just saying. Next up.
I mean, it was my first, so I really should. I think I started... Yeah, we've moved into 2020 now. So these are my starts in 2020. Yeah. This one's a crowd pleaser. All right, so this is what this is going to look like. She's beautiful. And in fact, this is my first addition to my Stitch Me Scene Wow, which is my wall of women. And if that interests you, I talk about it quite a lot in my past videos, but essentially a wall of women that I'm creating. This was my first edition. I call her Hummingbird affectionately. Where am I at? I'm actually...
Hummingbirds are 26% currently. Really 26%. Decent progress, and over 2,000 stitches put in over the last 12 months.
Okay, that could be better. It feels like it could be better. This has got blended threads as well.
It also obviously went on pause for some time.
Oh, yes, because I had a bit of a copyright issue with the original chart, so I ended up seeking permission from the actual artist, who said, yeah, that's fine. And so then I brought it back out to continue stitching, which, oh, thank goodness, because she looks incredible. Look at her. Yeah. Look at her eye. Wow, her face is bigger than ours. It is. I'm just looking at her in when she's been. So there's actually a lot of her skin there. This is on a Rustico Ada. So there are a lot of stitches in there that you might not be able to see, but it is full coverage. I've actually got 2 full page finishes on her. So there's not as many colours in this one as a lot of my other full coverage pieces, but as I said, she's got, I think there's about 15 blended threads, so that changes the game a little bit. And really just, I love her. Look at her. So I think at the moment I'm going to head towards her lips rather than her other eye at this stage and try and pull in that bottom corner down there. So that's Hummingbird, and I just actually noticed that I intentionally wore this t-shirt today because it was the t-shirt that I wore in my first FlossTube video. And I think actually when I wore it, there was a couple of people that asked about it, and I actually got it in South Africa at Mr. Price. So there you go. I'm from Australia, but my t-shirt came from South Africa. Dylan's actually originally from there as well. Hence why we were over there. You've been here for a while now, haven't you?
I have indeed. I have indeed, going on 16 years in fact.
Yeah.
Now you've got a paper pattern for the next one.
Oh, cool. Done. Okay, so this is Colourful Deer. And it's a paper chart. And it's a kit, actually, that I'm stitching on 14 count Ada. There's a few that... crop up. I think there's a cow and an owl in this collection, but I've got the deer. And this is where I am at. So 14 count Ada 2/1. I'm using all the called for threads and fabric. And I heard Dylan laugh because whenever I'm watching FlossTube, he always has a bit of a chuckle about how many times on a video we like to say called for.
And it is many.
So there you go. The called for threads. I love the pastels in this. The only thing that I did notice actually is, see the chart, the picture looks very blue, but then my stitching is kind of grey. So it's not an exact sort of reflection of the colours, but I still love it anyway. So slowly getting there. I think I'm about 20% maybe.
Very, very slowly getting there. You're currently at 16% on Colourful Deer and Colourful Deer.
Okay.
Colourful Deer was not a much loved piece of 2023, unfortunately receiving 0.3% progress or 100 stitches.
Okay. All right. So I could probably work on this one a little more.
Yeah, look, and not a mammoth piece either, so a potentially easy-ish finish.
Oh, look at me. We're into 2021 now because I started this on the 11th of June 2021. I really gained momentum as the years progressed with how many new starts.
Indeed you did, and it's rising exponentially or thereabouts.
And I've noticed that the fabric size gets bigger and bigger and the count gets higher and higher.
Yeah.
All right, next, what do we got?
Next
Another
up.
one. Okay. Oh, I actually posted this fairly recently. I worked on it for a big chunk, I think, for my Wheel of Stitches on Instagram. Starry Night. Everyone knows this piece by Van Gogh. This is actually a knockoff Joy Sunday kit because it's not a licensed piece of art, so that works for me. And I'm using all the called for. The threads, I don't even know what they are, but they're a little bit different to what I'm used to, a bit fluffier, but they're still working quite nicely. And I recently actually got quite a lot done on this. I've got a lot of park threads. If that annoys you, I do apologize. I know it frustrates some people and gives them the heebie-jeebies when they look at all these crazy, chaotic park threads, but that's the way I work, everybody. So you got to do what works for you. This is on 18 count aider, 2/1, and this is where we're at. So this here is actually the border. The edge has come in finally. Still a little way away from the other three, but I don't know. Can you tell what that is yet?
No, potentially. I'm not going to say an outright no.
Maybe if I'm thinking a little bit more black on, to bring that down here, and then you might actually be able to identify what piece it is, but yeah, maybe not yet.
Not quite. But look, let me say I'm really looking forward to it. It's currently at 17% progress. You're 1/6 of the way there. So do what you've done 5 more times and we've got ourselves a Van Gogh. Not everybody can say that. I for one, am looking forward to the finished product. Other than Hieronymus Bosch, as far as painters go, Van Gogh is quite possibly my favourite.
Don't put that out there in public. We were looking at charts this morning on the Heaven and Earth Designs website, and the Garden of Delights is one of Dylan's favourites, so I thought I would go and suss it out. Caddy Sue Cats on Instagram is stitching it, and I actually saw one of her posts and I was like, oh, I might look at that again. That is like 1 million plus stitches. So don't tell them, because that means I might commit.
A cool 1.7 million.
Awesome piece though. So there we go. Starry, starry night. All right. What do we got next? I'm looking at the time and we need to move because I said I wasn't going to get all chatty with each piece. But that belongs to that.
All right. Good old Sanctus.
Oh, yes. Okay, so this was actually, at the time, this was the biggest piece I had in rotation. This is over 250,000. That's what it's going to look like. And you actually helped me choose this one.
I did.
Yeah.
I love the intricacies and the blobs and it was really just a different, cool looking kind of a piece, and I still maintain that to this day.
But you actually, I recall, had to convince me because I wasn't sold on the colour palette.
Sold.
My usuals are sort of like purples, aquas, pinks, though, but I love this piece the more I work on it. You'll probably all recall it because, hang on, which way does it go here? Yes, this way. It's on a 20 count aider, 2/1, and this is where I'm at. So in typical Kyla fashion, when I have a lot of block stitching and I want to get to the good stuff, I will block off my stitching in 10 block squares. I work on PK for my bigger pieces, and it enables me to just keep working over to the colours, is what I mean by good stuff. And if I'm in a block stitching mood, I can just go knock over a little 10 by 10 square. So it works really well. The 939 on this is, I think there's about 50,000 stitches. And I didn't really want to be tackling that, for years on end before stitching any of the colour. This chart is by Electric City Stitches, Julia. She's actually released a few new charts recently, which I'm quite fond of. And you'll find her over on Etsy, but she posts quite regularly on Instagram. And she is really into these sort of abstract, big, colourful pieces, if that's your thing. So, there we go.
Look, and by no means is this your biggest, but talk about the perils of a big piece, because I think it's actually 262,500 stitches to be precise. And for all your efforts, and as amazing as it's looking, where you're at is 6%. You're at 6%.
I'm giving you some perspective. Here's the fabric.
It's not the biggest, but it's big.
Well, look. Okay, do you know what? I actually learned something from this one, because this is still a 20 count aider, and I realised, this size piece is not going to work because Dylan and I are going to have to end up with like 14-foot ceilings in a mansion at some point to cater for all of my amazing BAPs. So this is
Don't let that hold back your progress. Let's not discount the possibilities.
So this is, I think this is where I sort of started going, all right, I need to start exploring alternative fabrics. I'd only been an Aida stitcher up until this point in time. And I start touching my toes into some even weave soon. So stay tuned. Oh, this is a crowd favorite at the moment. We're back to Carolyn Manning. Everyone knows that I'm stitching carrot cake. This is what it's going to look like. Really actually a great time of year to be stitching it for all you over there in the other side of the world, because it's, well, I would say autumn, but fall, although we're nearly transitioning out of that season too for everybody now. And we've just been through Halloween, so all the oranges I found quite fun to be stitching over October.
Carrot Cake's seen a really good year in progress. A total between WIP parades of 7,530 stitches, which in fact is 21% of the entire piece, and that's brought you to over the 50% mark. You're now at 51% on Carrot Cake. So if ever there was to be a Manning finish soon,
oh yeah, this could be it.
Oh yeah.
And everyone keeps commenting, but I've intentionally left this corner off everybody because otherwise I don't know which way this goes. So that's my little reference point to know which way up this piece goes, because it's symmetrical. You stitch the same 4 times, and it just keeps me on track. But I've been posting this a little bit lately, and I have had 3 colour completes on it recently, and I think I'm at about 8 or 9 colour completes on it, and I think I've got 2 more in the wings. So yes, I agree with you. I would like to finish this one sooner rather than later.
Sure thing.
My friend Barb, Stitch Brat, she's close. She's so close. She actually just showed hers in her last floss tube. Highly recommend you go and check out Barb. And yeah, she's definitely going to beat me. But I did start it with a sale for her birthday in 2021. Hers is looking amazing. Hers is on linen. No, hers is on even weave. Yeah. Right. So that's my second Carolyn Manning. Remember I said I have 8. So still a few more to come. Ooh, another paper chart. Instagram doesn't like this one. And I'm actually stitching it a certain way because of that. This is what it's going to look like. I know, you can see now why Instagram likes to shadow ban me whenever I post this piece.
Bum, bum.
It is by Cross Stitch Designs, Rina Cross Stitch Designs, I believe you can find on Etsy. I was actually tempted to start another one of her charts actually. She's got some great things. So yeah, I highly recommend checking out her too. Okay, what am I doing with this one? It's an 18 count, isn't it? Yes. And it's on the same fabric that I'm stitching Hummingbird, so a Rustico Aida. And 2/1. Would you believe this one only has 11 colors? It's like a sepia effect, and it is really fun to stitch. This is where we are at. So I have intentionally avoided her bottom, and I think I'll leave that to last so that I can just keep putting it on Instagram without them fretting too heavily. But yeah, 11 colors, and the shading is just phenomenal. Would you look at that? You like this one?
I absolutely love summer repos, and to me the sepia effect is incredible. It's almost, remember when we were at school and we were trying to make something look all historical, and we'd hold a match or a lighter to a piece of paper and give it that burn effect. This looks like I've stood over it with a lighter and done a bit of a thing. It's really cool.
It does, on the border a little bit.
Yeah,
I see. What we used to do, like pirate treasure maps and stuff like that. Yeah,
scrolls and all sorts of things. yeah. So she's at 22% now.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I think, what is she, 40,000?
Yeah, 40,000? She's one of your 40s, I think.
Yeah, and she moves really fast. I was actually saying to Dylan I might keep her out and work on her actually, because yeah, she moves quickly. I'm playing some stitchy games on Facebook at the moment, and wow, I'm having such a great time. Firstly, Nancy from Bohemian Stitchery got me involved. Thanks, Nancy. But yeah, it's best with these games I've found to pull out your block stitching because you need stitches fast. So this would be a good choice for that with just the 11 colours.
Another paper pattern up next.
Trying to keep this neat and tidy so that mess over there doesn't get bigger.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, all right. So I've had this one a little while, haven't I? Dylan was telling me the other day there's a piece that you haven't touched since January this year, and I highly suggest you do, or it's going to be a year before you've worked on her. One of my Dimensions kits, Springtime. Isn't she just gorgeous?
She's a cute little thing, and she's around the corner from a finish, technically.
Look at how cute she is. Those flowers. And she's just got a bit of sass. Yeah. Where am I at? And we all know what Dimensions kits are like. We've got the blends, we've got the half stitches, we've got the French knots, we've got the really difficult, complicated chart, and let's not forget the intricate back stitching that I haven't even touched yet. So, whilst she's small, it's not as straightforward as she first looks.
Sadly not.
See all those lines have got to go in.
Yes,
Look,
yes.
I've only done a little bit.
Yes, the numbers do indicate accordingly.
Mm-hmm. But look, I've nearly actually finished, I reckon 3/4 of the full crosses actually. And then I can get going on that back stitching. I've actually started it down here on her skirt and a little bit in her hair. I'll bring that in because it's actually quite intricate there, that back stitching in her hair. It's very nice. Oh, that's a nice look. You can see the shading there of the blended threads in her skin as well. Really nice effect. Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, she's looking groovy, and in terms of progress, 57%. Like, really some decent progress on that one.
Yeah, actually,
albeit not for a while.
Could this be my first finish?
It could very well.
Oh, maybe. It's been such a mystery, isn't it? That's a 14 count ivory Ada, all the called for threads and fabric. Yeah. I haven't changed anything. It's all the called for. Okay.
Another one of my faves up next.
I always forget that you are fond of this one. Hey.
Love this.
Can't remember why I started this one. I think it might have been just one of those rando. Ooh, feel like a new start, and I really like this. It's from Counting the Stars, Beck, over on Instagram. You can find her on Etsy. Wow, colourful mandalas. She's your stop because these are incredible. Oh, this is what it's going to look like. I think it's just called Mandala Tiles 4. This particular chart. There's a lot to choose from. This particular little, I've picked this off a few pieces now. It must keep getting stuck. A little piece of blue thread. Okay, so I'm stitching this on 18 count Ada, 2/1. This is deceiving. This has got over, I think it's got 46 colours, and it's only got 40,000 stitches. It's deceiving, this one, but essentially, we have 20 by 20 squares, and there's 100 of them. Is that right on my maths?
20 by 20?
Yeah, 100 by 20 by 20 squares is 40,000?
Yes,
that's what they are. So I've actually completed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's right. 7, they're fully complete. So I've still got 93 to go.
Not shabby. In terms of progress percentage, this one's at 17%, 17.
Ooh, not bad at all. I actually had a bit of a, like I was saying to Dylan, it'd be really nice. Is that a hair? Yeah, it's a hair. It'd be really nice to have as many whips as I can, well over 10%. Oh, that does look good, doesn't it?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. And it's not huge. 40k on 18 count. Nice size. You'll find my borders get smaller and smaller as we progress because I was very generous with my fabric when I first started prepping. Now I'm just like, what a waste. And then I just do a zigzag around the edges on all of my fabric. to prevent the fray, because most of them are big pieces that I'll be working on for a long time, and they fray, and that's what happens. But yeah, I just run just a plain zigzag stitch just from my sewing machine. You don't need an overlocker or anything. It's pretty simple to do that yourself.
Next up,
This one's exciting.
this one has seen significant progress this year, and I think probably working back in the office a bit has played a part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if that's a
So
good
is it
thing.
really that exciting?
I prefer to work from home. I work in the CBD, and it's a bit of a trek nowadays after COVID. This is my travel piece, Unicorn. And this is what it's going to look like. It's another Carolyn Manning, so we're up to number 3 Carolyn Manning now. Stitching it as 4 separate pieces, one for myself and each of my 3 daughters. And this one is actually on a 20 count Aida, 2/1.
57%.
This is the Carolyn Manning that I have the furthest along.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
And in terms of progress in the last 12 months, I dare say, without running through all the stats, probably the most progressed at 30%. 30 of your 57 were done in the last 12 months. That's 8,400 stitches into Unicorn.
Wow. You hold that one. Let's see if we can get them all up at once. And I can hold that one too. Oh, hang on, I'll show this one.
They may well be.
This is the one that's
orientation.
most furthest along. I actually stitched a lot of this when we were in South Africa, this one. And then here. Put that one there with that and see if you... So this is all 4 of them. I'm trying to keep them like sort of running at the same time so I get 4 complete finishes in the one hit. So what do we got? That one looks like the least amount on it, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And I think I've kind of figured out who's getting what. I'm thinking Willow, me, Fleur, and then Isla. Isla's always said that this one's her favourite. The other 2 have been indifferent, so I'm thinking she gets her fave because she's always expressed that. These are so pretty. In a number of my Carolyn Mannings, I actually sub in anchor threads. And sometimes people do notice a little bit of a difference in the finished piece chart compared to my stitch pieces. That's why. There's no rules. I've got a lot of anchor thread. The conversion's really easy, and I really like working with it. So, works for me. So that's Unicorn. 57%.
Not shabby.
I almost feel like I don't want to stitch it as a travel piece and just... But the whole time I've been working on it, it's been a travel piece. So it would almost feel like it's...
You got more than enough to just smash out.
This is true. All right. Oh, remember how I said that at some point I would stop saying 8/8? Well, we've reached that point, and this is my very first piece that I started on 25 count even weave, Lugana 1/1. This was also my first attempt at 1/1, and I got to say, I think I fell in love because as we move forward, we pretty much go 1-on-1 a lot now. But I also get a lot bigger pieces going on now too.
Yes.
All right, this is another one that Instagram is not that fond of. Memento Mori by one of my favorite Aussie designers, unconventional cross stitch, Jodie. She's fantastic. She's got so many unique charts. And now that I'm getting some pretty solid progress on a number of hers, I think I've got 3. Yeah, Void, Sojourn, Memento, 3. I've got 3. Her charting is amazing. Like, yeah, it really, I'm a fan. So go check out Jodie's work. This is where I am at.
So Mementos at 12%. You put 2,000 stitches in since last WIP Parade.
I could improve on that, I think. There's a lot of orange, a lot of yellow. This is where I'm at. This is a really long, skinny one. So, up there. It's like, trying to get it all in. Yeah, there we go. And that is actually the full height there, so I've reached the bottom corner. Again, look how much fabric borders. Look at the edges I've got going on. Very generous of me. But this was good, because it was a scrap of another piece. So that gives you an idea of the length of it. And I think this one's only got like 56 colours or something like that. All shades of yellow, gold, orange.
This was another one of my selections, incidentally.
Oh, it was too, wasn't it?
I wasn't particularly fond of the colours or the picture initially, but I've really taken a liking to it. The significance was in the name for me.
Yeah. Do you want to talk to that a little bit?
Oh, look, only to say, and worth Googling if you wish to, Memento Mori, Latin for remember you must die, and obviously there's amazing peace to be found in confronting one's mortality. Having lost my own mum last year, it was an exploration that I've since undertaken, and this piece, for that reason, is very, very special to me.
So I should really get moving on it.
Come on, baby. Come on.
Oh, I do like that a lot of my pieces have got like some meaning or some memory to them. They make them extra special. Okay.
Oh, now this beauty.
Ooh, alrighty. I think I'm going to leave this one out too, actually. Looking at it, I haven't worked on this in a little bit. This is my Farewell to Anger, my Heaven and Earth designs, which I have, I think, coming up. I haven't shown any Hades yet, have I? Have I?
Run through the list. No, not yet.
No. Okay, so this is my first Hade that I'll show you, but I think I have 5, maybe 6 Hades. This is the only one that's max color though. The rest are just regular size, regular color. This is regular size but max color. If you're interested in stitching full coverage and you're starting a Hade, explore the different color and size options that you can get to suit what you're after, because there's a lot of options. That's what I'm saying. Farewell to Anger, Leonid Afromov is the artist, pretty well known. There's so many people stitching so many different pieces of art by that artist, and they are all colourful and they are all just, they just really pop. I love them. This is where I'm at. This is on a 25 count Lugana. It's a cream Lugana 1/1, and I think I've hit 5%.
You've hit 6% on Farewell.
Ooh,
6%.
6%. Check it out.
And that's courtesy of a good 4,000 that you've put in over the last 12 months on this one.
Oh. So I know that this piece benefited from, I think it was Angie from Angie Slowly Crafts. She selected it earlier in the year, I think, for a big lofty Wheel of Stitches goal. So that would have helped. She's also stitching one. She's here on FlossTube and Instagram. Go check her out. Look at the colours. Like max colour, it's intensive. When I say max colour, this has got 227 different colours, everybody. But, I mean...
Yeah, look, no, that's incredible. I mean, Afromov himself could have spray painted it onto fabric.
That's what it looks like, doesn't it? It's like spray paint.
No, that's well sprayed.
Oh, it's just gorgeous. And I'm coming in here to the lamp post here, so I think I might start working down there. I still don't have a page finished. I think every time I've worked on it this year, I've been like, I'm going to get a page finished. Nah, but it'll happen. Oh, so that's my first Hade. And it was actually the first one I started, and I restarted it because I started it 2/1 on 25 count, and that did not work for me at all. So restarted it.
There's the next one a Hade as well.
Yes.
That's a Hade, yes.
Well,
yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it certainly is.
This is one of Dylan's favourite. Oh, I'm attached there by Needle Minders, I think is what's going on.
Oh, that is exactly what's going on.
Yeah. This is where everything starts.
Okay.
So this is what this one's going to look like. Another Heaven and Earth design. Artwork by Marta Darlik.
Yes.
And that's quite a popular artist. I've seen a lot of lovely pieces on Instagram by that artist. It's a fun piece to stitch as well. There's just the perfect balance of block stitching and confetti. This also uses Krynic in that pig, make it all sparkly. this is a 25 count 1/1. So moving forward, anything that I start that's a big piece, I now stitch 1/1 on either 25 count or 28 count, depending on the size and what I'm feeling or what scraps I have. I've got to take that off. That's so heavy. It's just mucking with the way it's sitting. This needle minder, there's, you know how some of them are just so heavy they kind of drag your fabric down? I'll just pop that over there for a second. So this is where I'm at now. Again, excuse my park threads. We're going to get a lot moving forward. That's how I work on my bigger pieces, because PK really just helps you do that. It does.
Just actually rolls.
It is how I roll. Because that's what this is about. There's no cross stitch police. You do what you want to do. All right, we're ready. You love this one.
I do love this piece.
Love this one. Okay, this is looking good. Look at that. Oh yeah. Okay, you got to get a little bit of perspective on this one. So this is her face, and remember she's looking down to the pig, and this is the pig looking up at her. Okay, do you think you can tell that straight up, or I can?
Oh, we know the piece well enough to be able to.
I can tell, but it is still a little hard to get that sort of, And then there's a pair of boots, and then this is a scarf coming down over that big red box that's going to form there. And I've started some of the chronic down here, and I think this is the height I'm most furthest along on, if I'm correct.
Perhaps.
I'm pretty sure.
So you're at 13% currently, and part of that's courtesy of 5,500 stitches, just under 5,500 this year.
Yeah, nice. Look at that scarf. I'm going to bring that in because that scarf has been so much fun to stitch. I love working with pink, purple and aqua, as I mentioned earlier, and that is all of those colours. And then, see here? There's a little bit of the chronic coming in. You can sort of see the pig's snout there. And the blending in her face, oh, that was fun as well, to watch that come together. Everything about this has been so much fun. I did get a bit annoyed with the big block stitching of the blue up here, so that's why I've sort of left that, but I'll come back to it. Woo, that's where we're at on that one. And yes, that is my Haid. My furthest along Haid, but it's 192,000, I think.
It is.
And I think I've put in 24,000. Do you have that?
Well, no, but 13% of that. Yeah, that would align. Yes,
I'm about to hit the
24.
25k. Yep. I'm pretty sure, which in my mind is a great milestone.
Now,
Okay. I posted her on Instagram today. She's my fave. She's on track for a finish in the early next decade.
2033 to be precise, at this stage.
At this stage, she is Enter the Void 2. That's what she's going to look like. This is my second of 3 unconventional cross-stitch pieces, which I referenced earlier. Jodie, Aussie designer. And wow, I really love stitching her. She's one of my personal favorites. And I was just saying to you earlier that I want to finish. I want to finish her. This is one that's definitely on the finish list. Oh, this is another one of those heavy needle minders. Okay. Oh, look at her. Okay, let's get a nice pic. We need a smile. This can be our
cover shoot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
25 count, 1/1. Look at the pastels. That hat is no joke, people. And that's why I actually really have a lot of fun with her face, but I'm trying at the moment to refrain from stitching on her face because that hat needs to be tackled. Yeah. She doesn't come up as nicely on cam as she is in real life because of all the pastels, but I think as I kind of bring in the border around her hat, and it will become more defined, is what I'm hoping. You're just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that
sounds about right, man. In my unexperienced stitching opinion,
that
sounds very viable.
Love her. Where am I at?
Yeah, so 14% on void after nearly 9,000 in the last year.
Ooh, okay, that's got to change. I want 10k at least in the next year.
Sounds like a good target.
I mean, I'd love 20, but that's probably...
And you'd also love to start all the new things.
All right, but this is one that I do work on regularly. She doesn't kind of go away for months on end. I think maybe a month she might sit there sometimes, but generally she gets regular love. Would you agree?
I think that sounds about right.
Yep.
Yep, thinking of the books, the records, seem to agree.
Yeah. All right, what have we got next?
All right, we have none other than
another
Paradise Found. I really like this piece too.
Yeah, I know. You're often telling me to get going on this one. Yeah. Who's the designer of this one, Dylan?
You have put me to shame.
Oh, really?
You have.
Come on, no, it's one of the big ones. You know this one.
Is it another Haid?
Yes.
Oh, it's another Haid, people.
Yes.
Of course.
If in doubt, probably a Haid.
Well, it definitely ain't a Manning.
It's definitely not a Manning, that's right. So this is what it's going to look like. I posted this recently on Instagram as well. I started it for my milestone birthday last year, and it's Paradise Found, artwork Janelle Nickel. It's big, 262,000.
262 and a half, yeah.
25 count, 1/1. This is where I'm at. There's a lot going on this chart, and it's one of those ones I find I stitch all the beige and really don't see anything until I step back. I am literally, let me see, here. I am not joking, her hair starts about here, people, here. That's how close I am. And then down here, the actual writing of Paradise Found is literally to start about here. So my Wheel of Stitches goal for November, Angie selected this piece for 2,500, and I aim to be hopefully at both, but definitely her hair.
Angie, that's a great nomination because, as Carla indicated, this was commenced at a milestone birthday. It was.
Which one.
It was also started with the goal in mind of completion at the next milestone birthday. We're currently not tracking particularly well for that goal in particular. So, Angie, 2,500 stitches will go down really well. As much as I like this piece, part of the reason I continually remind you to work on it is because you got to bring it in if you want to get it to that milestone birthday.
I know.
You did very well this year, 5,000 stitches into Paradise Found, and you're at 4%.
Nice. I just like that kind of lacy effect, but I mean, I really like that flower. Let's look at that flower. That's so cool. See that flower?
Yeah, I love that flower. I know you love that flower. It might be wild.
Because it's the only thing you can completely make out at the moment. That's why.
I know. Being really pessimistic at the worst of times, had the flower not been there, might look like mouldy bread.
Oh, that's right.
Let's be honest.
Where was it? This bit up here. I was stitching it recently. This bit here, and Dylan's like, "Is that mouldy bread?"
I actually thought it hadn't seen enough airtime and had maybe begun to grow some organic matter.
Just you wait. Just you wait. No, we know mouldy bread. All right.
You got a petite little teeny tiny beauty to show off here.
Let's bring the numbers down to like 27,000.
Rest those biceps.
All right, so I have 3 of these on the go. Do you recall the designer of this one?
Is it a Kincaid?
No, but really good guess.
Oh, I am semi proud of that guess myself.
Yeah. No, Donor Stitch.
Oh, you know what?
See,
I knew that once upon a time.
I know. When I bought all of them.
That is exactly when it made a big impact in my life.
So Donor Stitch has a collection of Disney... it's hard to describe. There's a certain way that the Donor Stitch pieces look. I'll show you. This is the Little Mermaid. I have 3 on the go. But I did buy the entire Disney collection. I think there's 10. Or maybe 8. 8. But I have 3. And I'm stitching them all on 28 count, 1/1, white linen. This is where I'm at.
That is where you're at, and they're looking at 10% progress.
Is this 10%?
This is a 10%.
Ooh, that's cool.
And you contributed 4% of that 10%, 1,200 stitches in the last 12 months.
Oh, I'm pretty pleased with that then, actually.
Yeah.
Isla loves this one. I kind of like the way, see how Ariel and Eric almost look like they've got a love heart between them?
Yes.
See how that's stitched up?
Yes.
I think that's intentional, and I think it's great.
Could well be quite cute.
Look, where they meet each other and then they're sort of got a heart going on there. You can see it. So I'm going all over the place on this one. I'm actually stitching each of them in with a bit of a different method. So I do have 3 of these, but this one is the Little Mermaid. I've got my Little Mermaid needle minder to go with it. And I love them because they're just so teeny tiny on the 28 count 1/1 with the block stitching. They just look really cute. So yeah, if you're into Disney and you want something that's just not typical Disney, Donor Stitch, you can find them on Etsy as well. And if you actually search that hashtag on Instagram, quite a few people have finished different, I think I've seen a Frozen one finished. I've definitely seen a Brave one finished. There's a few of them out there and they just look incredible when they're finished. Just really pop with the colour.
Cool. So when we get to Brave, will you ask me who the designer is?
That's cheating. All right. Do you know who's done this one? You should. What's up? It's got like fluff on it, this one.
No, but I know this is Arrival.
Yeah.
And I know that you're stitching this beauty for your mum.
Yeah.
And is it a hay?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. 3 for 3, people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top points. To the top of the class. All right. So this is what she's going to look like. In terms of chronology, I think we're now at November last year, actually. Or maybe just I can't remember if I showed these in my WIP parade. No, I didn't. No. So I started these just after, I think.
We're right at the cusp now on
Yeah.
the list. Either just after or just before.
Yeah. So I think I started this November last year.
Yeah.
And I'm stitching this one for my mum. She actually selected it. And she went and selected a big one. It's 200 and... it's big.
This is
70...
This is a biggie.
276 or something, I think.
It could be.
This is where I'm at. I think I'm at... I haven't done 10,000 stitches.
No. So Arrival is at 3% of that massive number of, I think, 275,000.
Yeah. Gee, Mum, you might be waiting a little while for this one. But this one is on a 28 count. Lugana, 1/1, Heaven and Earth Designs. And it's beautiful. Can really see her face coming in now. I love a center start on my bigger pieces. It gives me the flexibility to be able to go wherever I want rather than starting in a corner on these big pieces. They do take years, sometimes decades, and I personally just find starting up in one of the corners just restricts, I guess, the freedom of color and all that I would like to use as I work on it. So yeah, you'll find a lot of my starts are center starts. It looks good.
Looking good.
Yeah. The lips look great. Yeah, you can actually see her face now.
Fully taking shape.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Another biggie.
Oh, another Heaven and Earth Designs.
I started. Ask me who designed this one.
No. I started this one literally, I think, like 2 days after I started that one.
Yeah.
And this one I started stitching from my best friend who also selected it. That's what it's going to look like. And it's not actually full coverage. The white part on this chart is not stitched. Thank you, Victoria, because that would have been traumatic almost. Her name's Ariel.
But she ain't the Little Mermaid.
Artist is Anna Dittman. And if you have a look at the hashtag for Anna Dittman on Instagram, there's some incredible artwork on the Heaven and Earth Designs website by her. And no, it's not like the Little Mermaid.
It isn't. So progress.
It's spelt differently though too, I think. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This has got the E after the A.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is 28 count 1/1 as well. And if you're watching Vit, don't know if you will, but if you are, Dylan's got some really good news for you.
You may or may not see this one finished. It's at 3%.
Oh, look, I've got an M&M needle minder on this one. I like that one.
Indeed.
That's from JK's.
But it's stitched with love, and regardless of whether or not it sees the end, it's a lot of fun, I'm told.
Maybe we might just get the face and not, all the background on this one. It could work. But that eye is looking pretty incredible. Actually, maybe I should keep her out and finish that eye. That would be pretty cool. It's not much left in there. Again, a centre start and, regular size, regular colours for all of my Hades, as I indicated. So the colours for a regular usually around 86 to 88 is the standard on a Heaven and Earth design. And that one is 88 of every purple and lilac and mauve you could possibly have in the DMC colour range, I think.
Donor stitch?
Yeah.
Donor stitch. So
Go
you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Can go you. Oh, look at the frogging on that. You can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. All right. So this is Alice in Wonderland. Was this one of your choices?
It wasn't.
No.
But it was one that I was very supportive of. I do love Lewis Carroll, and I do
Yeah.
love the story itself.
That's what it's going to look like. And as you can see, the donor stitch pieces you can identify straight away. They really look quite similar. They're fantastic. So I'm stitching this one a little differently to how I'm doing Little Mermaid, and chose to do the 3810 or 08, I can't remember, but it's one of those shades of DMC that is used as the outline border on every single one of them, which really brings them together. So I went that first on Alice. And I got to say, it's actually far more difficult than what I thought it was going to be. And you can see that by the frogging that I've got here. But again, 28 count 1/1 on this linen. I've got enough of this linen to do all of the donor stitch pieces if I want to, so that they look the same.
But do you have enough time?
Well, I was thinking maybe one day for grandkids or great grandkids.
You may need the time.
But I've got Alice and a little white rabbit, and they're sitting in a teacup with a top hat. So that's the background that's taking shape at the moment.
Yeah, looking good. So 7% she's at. 7%. At the current rate of progress, you'll be finished this hopefully within a decade or thereabouts. She's sitting at 2033.
She's also the bigger of the donor stitches.
Yes,
They do range in, I mean, they sit around the same size, but this one's up around 40,000, I think, which is a bit bigger than the other two I have. Oh,
Well, speaking of big pieces, all right.
Dylan reminds me of these ones all the time.
Speaking of huge pieces that really may not see a finish if we're being totally honest with ourselves.
All right.
But what a beauty.
This is Midnight Poppy Field by Contemporary Cross, Paula. Amazing charts. She's over in the UK and she has her own website. She's on Instagram. Incredible charts over there. Go and have a look at them. I'm stitching 2 and we're going to do them side by side because I decided to start 500,000+ stitches in 2 whips within a week, I think, with the same method of stitching.
As you do, you all know.
It just happens that way, right? So 28 count 1/1. It's the same linen as those donor pieces. I actually got the biggest chunk of this off of Facebook Marketplace, I think, just randomly. And it's like the best linen I've ever used, and I'm running out, which is a bit sad. So Midnight Poppy Field, and I ran with, and we're stitching both of these as Extreme Cross Country, which is where you go colour complete. And I started with the 310 on Midnight Poppy Field.
I thought you were going to ask me to define extreme cross country, and had you, I would have been able to do it to a T.
You just want to show off now, don't you?
Well, I've learned so much. What do I do with all
you
this
have.
knowledge?
You have.
If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the question bar, and I got you covered.
Because I'm really bad at them, actually. All right, 28 count 1/1. This is the 310, and I started in the center. So this is her face sort of outline. And I think, have I hit 1% yet?
You have scraped 1%. Scraped.
Ooh.
Scraped 1%. In fact, let me show you my notes. 1.00%.
1% on the dot. All
and
right.
Are you comfortable for me to tell the viewers what the implication therein is in regards to anticipated finish?
Yeah. They know.
This one will be a gorgeous, gorgeous finish in 2102. So hang in there, 79 years, and we have ourselves a little masterpiece. She's a beaut. She is a beaut.
They know. They know. You know.
Before we pick up the next, I'll just say for those wondering, OMG, this is an epic episode. How far along are we, and how many whips can there possibly still be?
That's actually handy because we're at an hour and 5.
We are exactly halfway. 48 whips, 24 done. Let's move. Are you for real? Let's move.
I thought we were moving. Okay, we're going to go quicker. All right. Same artist, same designer, Contemporary Cross. Actually, the artist is Emmy Mastonen. This one is Crimson Blossom and Tangerine Sky. That's what she's going to look like. I'm doing Extreme Cross Country 28 count, 1/1. I started with the 939, and we have this.
You haven't quite hit 1% on this one. This one's at 0.8%. And you're looking at a finish in the next 74 or so years at 2097 currently.
Okay. That's the border down there, just for reference. Okay. This is no mean feat, people, this Extreme Cross Country. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun. And I've got a lot of 939 skeins ready to go. All right. Ooh, one of my favorites coming up.
Candy floss, fairy floss, cotton candy, the numerous references for the different countries and cultures.
Yeah. All right, this is Delphine. It's by Kaylee at the Sewing Shop in Canada. And I have 3 of her charts now. 28 count, 1/1 linen. Seems to be a theme. I bought that big chunk and then just went nuts with new starts, it looks like. This is where she's at. Oh, I love her. Fleur loves her too. You love this one.
She's beautiful. She's beautiful.
So center start, this is her chin and her neck coming down here. Just for a bit of context.
It's a bit like a psychedelic Marilyn Monroe kind of look. Maybe.
Oh, they're my colours.
Yeah,
that's
gorgeous.
Yeah,
gorgeous. And what the viewers are looking at now is 3% worth of progress.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah. I only started her in in December.
Could it been just before New Year? And so 6,500 stitches in 11 months.
Didn't you say I started this for your birthday?
You did.
Yeah,
you did.
Okay, there you go. Great, I love her. And seriously, you need to go check out Kaylee, the Sewing Shop. Absolutely amazing charts, because I'm now about to show you another one. I have 3 of hers as well. Da-da-da. When I'm onto a good thing, I tend to start a few from the same designer, as we all do. This is Towards Truth, and I went with a ditch the background on this one, so I'm not stitching all of that grey. I chose a 28 count opalescent fabric called Grey Gum, I believe, which is the printed even weave. You know, the printed that has the plain back, but then it has the printed colour on the front. I'm actually really enjoying this, and I know it's relatively sort of new and a lot of people are getting into it, so I'd recommend you trying it. There's heaps of different colours you can get. So this is where we're at on Towards Truth. Even without the background, Dylan informs me that I have dropped the ball on this piece, apparently.
Yeah, look, for such a beauty you have, if we're facing facts, and numbers are facts, the numbers say 1.3% progress. 1.3%.
Oh, golly.
With a finish on this one in about 40 years from today.
Oh, golly. Okay. So this is her mouth here with that moth over her mouth. And this purple is actually a sparkly DMC toil thread. I've never worked with it before, but it's fluffy, isn't it? I don't know if you've worked with it before. And then it's got sort of the sparkle that runs through it. You just got to be really careful. I think I need to use shorter lengths is all. I do like the specialty threads I'm working and sort of trying new things though. I love this piece. Maybe I should keep this one out too, actually.
Oh, I think it needs a bit of progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't worked on it in a bit. I mean, I'm struggling because of all the light colours. So if I just put in a few darker to anchor myself, maybe that'll improve my desire to want to put in some stitches.
Now, very quickly, speaking of different kinds of threads and all that sort of stuff, I know you like to use equivalents. Have you explored yet with the CXC range?
No.
Okay. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. That was not the intent.
No, funnily enough, you know that...
This was more a parade of knowledge.
All right, so are these guys? You all know I bought an entire
They know.
entire package, every color of CXC, because I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try it."
I know. They want to know how it's performing, so I thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
Maybe next Floss Tube.
That's challenge accepted.
You can thank me in the question box.
Barbie will work well with.
Yeah, magic. Good thinking.
All right, Carolyn Manning coming right up.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me who designed this one.
This is a naturalator, I think. Carnival. It's from the Broken Star collection, not the Shooting Star, the Broken Star. So these are not symmetrical like the Shooting Star, but very similar in design. And this is where I'm at. This is on 18 count, 2/1, center start, and I love these colors. They are just so fabulous. Emily from Stitcher Aussie M actually finished hers at the Vic Stitches retreat last year, and it looked phenomenal. So, and I'm hoping to have a little bit more progress on this one before I see you again next year.
Yeah, and positioned really nicely for a finish in terms of where the pieces lie. This is going places.
Did you hear that?
Did
you hear that? This one's going places, people. This is going places. You heard it right from...
This ain't no Broken Star, that's a
You
Shooting
heard
Star.
it from the Stats Boy's mouth himself. All right. Back to our big baps. We have our final unconventional cross stitch. Yes, final unconventional cross stitch piece. This was a Secret Santa that I got last year. So I think I started this. Oh, I think I started this on the 1st of Jan or thereabouts, actually.
Yes, that rings a bell.
Yeah. Invitation to Sojourn. That's what it looks like. Did I say that? How you?
I would have said Sojourn.
Yeah. We've had a bit of a... We often have a conversation about how to pronounce the word, don't we? I say Sojourn like it's really French and fancy.
I think we both called Sanctus Sanctum for the first 6 months.
Oh, this... Okay, so 28 count 1/1. I love this. I put a lot of effort into this one, actually. I did.
You have.
I feel like I did.
6,600 stitches have gone into this piece. That is 2%. It's a big piece.
Look at that, though. So her face sort of angles down. And that's her lips. And this is her thumb. That's sort of like we're sitting under her neck there. I can see that, can you? Like,
I can see it enough to want to give it my own thumbs up.
but do you, like, yeah, look. You can see that they're lips and...
It's a thumbs up.
Oh, look at the shading. This is why I like Jodie's charting. She just does such a wonderful job at charting skin, the shading. When you're stitching them, sometimes I go, oh, gee, I'm not too sure about that colour. But when you step back, it just works. That's a big one too. I think it's my second biggest, this one, actually.
It's very, very big because you've done nearly 7,000 and it's only 2%. So it must touch 300,000 stitches.
Just shy, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
290. Yeah.
Love her, though. Love her. All right.
All right.
Ooh, I started this one for the Maxine. Kaylee ran a Maxine Gad challenge earlier this year in May, and I started this one, Not Solo, by Maxine Gad. 28 count, 1/1. Just a very, very tiny, tiny start along the bottom there. But this is max colour, and it's under 100,000 stitches. It's small. I know this one, it's under 100,000.
Just under. Just under. I don't have the total in front of me, but looking at the percentages, etc. So, point of interest for the viewers, you've completed 0.96% on this one. Just shy of 1%.
But look at that. I think this has like 230 colours, and in less than 100,000, you can imagine the colour changes. So I really need to concentrate when I work on this one, and progress is not fast at all. But gee, she's beautiful. Look, I'll give you context. Compared to some of my pieces of fabric. Pretty little. It's 28 count. She's gonna be gorgeous. And I always wanted a Maxine Gad. Who is it? Jamie, the gaming stitcher. Her Maxine Gad. Woo! That is amazing. She's stitching. I can't remember the name of the one she's stitching, but she's been showing it lately, and her progress is so motivating to get like one of my big baps to that level.
Now I think this is the old Riolis.
It is, yes.
But does that mean
that
there's a pattern somewhere?
Yes, the box, please. Yes. Yeah, thank you. All right, so I love kits, and a lot of my smaller pieces actually are kits. I love kits. There's just something about those opening it. Brand new threads and just. Anyway, I got this Riolis kit, which I love. Look at that. It's big, very big. It's on 14 count Aida. And I'm using all the called for fabric, which is actually, I don't know, this is an interesting color. It's 14 count, and the Riolis kits, the charts are like really sort of something I've never kind of worked with before. This has got everything going on. We've got 3 threads, 2 threads, 1 thread, blended threads, half stitches, fractionals, there's back stitching, there's French knots. It's got everything you can think about.
The intricacies demonstrated in the progress. 1.5%. I love this piece, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it take shape, but it's got a way to go.
Me too. Actually, Alicia chose it. Adventures of Stitching chose it for my November Wheeler Stitches goal, but only 300 stitches. But I tell you what, it'd be looking pretty good on there.
Yeah, look, what do we say? Every stitch counts.
Got a needle hanging there, but this is the center, and this is her décolletage with the bodice of her dress starting to come in here. So I'm just showing you up close so that you can see I do have all of those lighter colored stitches in there as well. It's not just the darker ones. There's a bit more going on. So yeah, over here we are. Oop, get that glare going just here. That's where we are. And Dylan and I have made a bit of a joke about how this will be us, but if I don't finish it, it's going to look nothing like us when we're 80. Okay. Am I going quicker? I feel like I'm going quicker.
We've sped things up because for the viewers' interest, we're now at WIP number 32 of 48.
Okay. An hour 17. Going good, going good. This is Dandelion Fluff Girl Gang. And there's 5 of these. They're by Kaylee, the sewing shop. Angie's doing one. Oh, I'm trying to think. There's quite a few people on Instagram doing different ones, and there's a hashtag for it. And as they all come together, I think they're going to look incredible. This is a circle. So actually now my second circle that I'm stitching because of golden ratio.
Yes.
So I thought that would be quite fun to start sort of bringing the circle in from the edge. And I've attacked this like I've attacked Sanctum because of all the blocks there. So I've blocked out my 10 by 10 squares so that I could move into the center and work on her face if I wanted as well. I've noticed since having you here, like it's just a different setup, and I keep covering my face. Yeah, so I've got to.
Don't do that. We want to see your beautiful face.
I've got to keep it here a bit more.
Yeah.
This is a 28 count 1/1. And I don't think I've really made a whole load of progress, honestly.
I think you've actually made more than you appear to have made. You've put 3,100 stitches into it. That's 2%.
Okay. And this was I'm going to call maybe March, because I know I started Lovers on the Riolis kit on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe March-ish this year.
Yeah.
This is actually an AI piece of art. I know it's quite contentious out there, and I'm not really going to get into chatting about it, but that's what it is, and I love it.
Dun, 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 dun. We love this
I'm
piece.
thinking this is your favourite.
It's one of a handful of real faves.
The way it was presented just then, I'm thinking it's right up there for you. No, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it too. It is so different to my usual style. Dylan selected this. It's a Heaven and Earth design. It's called The Big Pig. It's what it looks like. I did post it recently on Instagram, actually. It's big. When they say The Big Pig, they weren't wrong. And the confetti. I'm gonna call it. This is the piece that has the most crazy confetti out of all of my whips. And I can tell because I sit there for 90 minutes and I can usually rip out a decent amount in 90 minutes. I stitch everything full cross too, by the way. I don't do any 10 stitch, just to clarify that. Sometimes I'm lucky to get 100 stitches. Oh, it's hard going, but geez, it's looking great.
Well worth it. Well worth it.
Oh, it's so much fun. So center top start. Here is the pig. We got some books. And you can see the ear starting to come up here. And then we've got, this is the face here. And then that ear will sort of come up here, cut off the books, and then come down to the sort of snout down here. But I'm also closing in on the double eye, which is just about here. This is no joke, people. But it's been really fun. It's really big, 28 count 1/1 linen. It's the same linen that I have all of the other pieces that I've shown you on.
It's massive, because to say that that's 6,300 stitches right there, it's almost hard to fathom.
Oh, and this is a needle minder actually that Dylan got me, but it did have a little bee on it, but that little bee's fallen off. But I just wanted to highlight that because that's actually from Ginger Stitch AU, and they're an Australian needle minder company. So go check them out.
Good one.
I do like to shout out the Aussies. I like to shout out everybody, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I know that we're all, a little bit fond of locals that we like to support.
Right, this one comes from a moment of architectural inspiration.
This one's a little bit different to a lot of my other charts. Barb and I started a historical houses cell, and I have a big collection of the Australian Heritage Architecture DMC cross-stitch kits artwork by Olga Gostin. And they really look like houses that you would find here in Melbourne, where I live. This one looks like it's stepped out of Kew, for example. I love these charts too. They're like in a little folder. Oh, look. There's a lot of the other ones there that I have all but one of those, I think. Yeah. Really good quality chart. I've got a lot of paper charts, but this is probably one of my favorite. And I kitted this myself, but I have the rest of them as kits. So I just got the chart for this one. And yeah, Barb and I are stitching along with a bunch of others, some houses if you want to join us over there on Instagram. It's pretty teeny tiny, but a lot of detail. Like a lot of kits, hey, with your half stitches and all your little tricky bits. I love this actually, it's looking good, hey. This is where we're at. So we're on 18 count Ada 2/1. Actually, no, this is a 20 count Ada 2/1. And those half stitches up there around the sky, I think that stained glass window, the attic style window up the top, is really starting to pop out and look quite 3D actually on camera now.
Yeah, look, this piece is looking really good. And because it's such a small piece in the scheme of things, it's only about 25,000 stitches. The 3,000 that you've put in to date has brought you to nearly 12%.
Wow!
How's that? Not shabby.
Gee, that's pretty inspiring. I could pull this to 50 quite quickly then. There's a lot of colour changes though. There's actually over 50 colours in this piece if I recall. Looking good. Looking really good. Actually, I think I do want to keep this one out now. But we'll just keep it in order for now.
Next cab off the rank is another Manning.
I just need to drink a bit.
Yes, drink your drink that matches the piece.
I've done lots of talking. Grandma's Lilacs. You were right, Carolyn Manning. That's what it's going to look like. And it's a combination of This is my kind of colour palette. I love this one. Barb's also stitching this one. I'm going for a bit of a different approach this time, and I'm going to go centre, points, border. So it's from the Shooting Star collection. This is where I'm at. Not a whole load, actually.
Not a whole load. 4% is what they're looking at there.
Okay. And it's a 18 count Ada, just a white scrap I've found somewhere, I think. 2/1. Oh, there was a funny story to this too, actually, because I stitched those 4 inner triangles there, those ones, right? And then that color is the same color as this color here, and I come down here and I'm like, well, that doesn't work. What have I done? So I thought perhaps I got confused with another color in the chart, went to try and find it. No, it's just a random purple. Just a random purple I've picked up. So anyway, I quite like it. It's gonna stay. Yeah. That's probably, oh no, that is not my last CM. Don't worry.
Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Oh, we're about to show you another one.
And then more to come.
Okay, so this is 2 more to come actually, I think.
Yes.
Got a hair on that one, yeah. Stained glass. Yeah, no, this one's just called Stained Glass. She's actually got a collection of them, and the other ones have different titles. I'm pretty sure this one's just called Stained Glass. I chose a charcoal Ada. I'm not too sure if it's 20 count or 18 count actually now I'm looking at it. I always get a bit confused with the darker fabrics because it changes the look of my stitches. I think it's an 18 count. But here it is. I'll just put on the back so you can't see the shadow come through. Yeah, no, it's not working. Hang on a second. I've got a noisy needle minder on there too.
Bloody slow.
Yeah. It's a good one. I like it. Alright, so this is where I'm at. Oh, look at that. So I'm clearly doing the 310 outline first. I put a little bit of colour in because I just wanted to test how it was going to look. This needle minder is also by Ginger Stitch AU. And that looks so good. So it's a 4x4. So 1, 2, 3, and then there'll be another one up here. 4 over down. This border is so intricate. Each of those little diamonds has a different colour and they don't repeat. So that's going to be very fussy stitching when I get to filling in those. But I really like this piece.
Yeah, she's a beaut. She's a beaut. And that's 2,100 stitches in so far, which is 8%.
Nice. I started this one at the retreat last year, actually. Now I'm thinking. Yeah, at the Vic Stitches retreat. So this is probably a good one I should take along to the retreat next year, I think. And I actually really like, I'm starting to really like working on darker fabrics. The effect it has on, it just changes the way the thread, doesn't it? I like that.
It does. And speaking of, another piece on a darker fabric.
And another hair. Golly. Maybe it's just the darker fabrics that's showing up this hair. All right, so this one is, it's going to look like this. This is by 2x2 stitch. I can't remember their full name, but people refer to them as 2x2. You'll find them over on Etsy, and they do a whole load of samplers. Amazing samplers, all different styles. And I went with a Dutch style one called Nature Sampler, I think. The titles of them are very simple, and I think it was just Nature Sampler. So I got a little bit creative with this one actually, and it took me quite a while to nail down the colors that I was going to choose. I kind of worked with a whole different creams, which wasn't really doing it for me and getting the effect that I was after. So in the end, I just settled on a 712, DMC 712, the cream, and a variegated DMC. And this is how we're looking. And I really, really like this effect. It's a 25 count, and I'm doing it 1/1. Yeah, wow, I really like this. I actually made a little mistake on the border. I posted it on Instagram and I can see it standing out now. That little squirt, that little cross there is in the wrong spot, people. I know it makes no difference. But when I know it's there, I see it every time.
I really like this piece. Much like Pandemic, when a stitcher applies some additional creative license or creative nous to it, and it gives it that individuality, it really makes it special. And this is in my handful of favourites, potentially for that very reason.
I think I'm going to agree with you the more I stitch on it. And I tell you, this stitches up so quickly. That border, I am racing through. Like, I think it was 2 stitchy sessions or something. And
so 1,400 stitches in total, 4%.
Not bad. Not bad. Now, don't forget to warn when we're down to like a couple left, because I really don't like eating my last Malteser without realising that it's my last Malteser.
No, we got a good few to go.
All right.
But this is a paper pattern.
All right. So for all of you out there, these are hard to find. I was lucky enough to get my hands on one, so I thought I had to start it. It's the Thomas Kincaid Disney collection. They're no longer in print. You can get them on eBay, but they are very sought after now. And I'll put you out of the... You want out?
Yeah, for the Lion King, I'll sit out.
So we've got a lot of filament in this, a lot of filament, a lot of blends. They are incredible. There's a lot of hashtags. And I love the Lion King. So I'm using the cold for threads and fabric. And this is where I am at. So I went for the top corner on this one, because it already kicked into a whole bunch of colours that I wanted to work with, the purples. And I was actually working on this one quite heavily while Fleur was reading me The Lion King each night for her evening reading. She often gets into choosing the piece that I'm going to work on while she does her reading, and it's usually a Disney piece, so they get a lot of love.
And that's just under 2,000 stitches done, so 3%.
Really?
On the dot, 3%.
That's actually better than I thought, because I haven't worked on it a whole load. Just like, it was like a little 20-30 minute sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every stitch counts.
The only thing I would say about this particular kit is the borders on their fabric are not very generous, given the popularity of these kits. I would have thought that we would have had a little bit more wriggle room, but that's not the case, and I've heard that sort of stated by a few other stitches as well. All right.
Teeny tiny.
Yeah, compared to some of what I've shown you, this is like, okay, not my last Carolyn Manning, but my second last.
One to go after this.
Second last Carolyn Manning. This is Glow Up. I really like this one. It's a little bit different to a lot of the other ones that I'm stitching. It's smaller. It's 12,000 stitches. And the border is super cute. I went with an 18 count Aida, and this is where I'm at. So as you can see, the border has a white, a black, an alternating pink green, which is quite unusual for a CM. But these colours are incredible. Angie Slowly Crafts is also stitching this, and she started in a completely different place, and they don't even look like the same piece at this stage, which is fun. I like it when that happens, because you know, when people stitch the same piece and you see the same bit over and over and over and over, it can get a little repetitive. So yeah, nice one to start in a completely different spot, Angie.
So because it's such a small piece, 2,000 stitches is what we're looking at. That's a hearty 16% progress.
Nice. 1, 2, 3. So there's only 4. I could finish this next year pretty easily. And it's really easy block stitching. Actually, I should probably do some on that tonight. Maybe that would help my stitchy game progress.
Plan.
My game plan.
Yes. Well, here's one with not a whole lot of progress.
Do you know, I actually forgot I'd even started this one.
I think it forgot
That's
about
got to
you
change.
too.
I wanted an artisy pattern. I've wanted an artisy chart for a little while actually, and then when I was at the retreat last year, it's that there. Yeah, thank you. This happened to be on the freebies table. Best of friends. Sorry for the glare. Let me try and... There we go. I have 2 sisters. I have 3 daughters. It seemed pretty cool. We're dog people, not cat people. So I grabbed that off the freebie table, and then not so long ago this year, it was one of those random, oh, I'm going to start this. It's also a paper chart. I didn't even wait to scan and get it into Pattern Keeper before starting it. So now I'm kind of stuck with this really complex paper chart, because artistry charts, there's a lot going on in an artistry chart, let me tell you. Anyway, this is rather small. It's a 28 count. Is it? Yes, 28 count, 1/1, center start. I'm going to have to come in so close so you can even see it. But there it is. A whole
345 stitches, 0.8%.
Woo!
So a long way to go on this beauty.
There it is. And I think that's like her hand. Because I went for a center start. Yeah. Hand. That doesn't even look like a hand.
Not quite yet.
There's a lot of colours in this one though. Okay, that's another one I'd like to move along a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright.
Colourful and exciting.
Ooh, this one's fun. This is the same designer who the Mandela Tiles 4-piece, so Counting the Stars, Beck, and she came out with this pop art version of Barbie when the new Barbie movie was released. This is what it's going to look like. And so I've broken it up and I'm going to stitch just single panels on 14 count to give it make it a bit bigger and plumper and more colourful. And I'm going to finish them onto some tote bags, one for me and each of the girls, and they've selected their Barbie. This is where I'm at on my Barbie. I know, not very far, but at least we've got some colours.
So that's 4% because it's a relatively small piece. It sits at just under 10,000 in total. You're at 4.6% progress.
Not bad. I do really like this. I need to get moving on it actually. Yeah. So that'll be really fun. Then I've got to start another 3.
Easy done. Easy done. Now, if the pieces I like come with the da-da-da-da introduction, then this is definitely a da-da-da-da.
Yeah, it is. All right, so I started this one for Dylan. Recently, he selected this one. This was his choice. It's gorgeous. It's attracted a lot of attention on Instagram, I must say. I went with another Ditch the Background salo because I really would like to finish it for him in a reasonable time. And I really don't want to waste years stitching 939 unnecessarily. Went with a navy fabric. This is the golden ratio. This is what it looks like. And actually this is a new designer that I jumped onto recently. I've got another piece coming up by Stitches So Beautiful, and you can find them on Instagram. They've got some amazing full coverage charts. And so they had a sale. So I bought the one that I wanted and then got this one for Dylan. Made a nice start. Gotta try, yeah, and that's the right way. All right, so it's 25 count, 1/1, Lugana, and that is looking phenomenal. I think the colors are going to pop on this fabric without the 939 anyway. You agree?
Yeah, look, taking shape beautifully. Love the colours, love the spiral, love the symbolism of the golden ratio and what it's all about. And love the Ditch the Background because...
Yes, you give it to me.
Because what you're looking at now is 41% progress in effect if you remove the background. You've not quite literally put in 16,600 stitches, but you've put in 16,600 stitches with the Ditch the Background. Well done.
Yay! Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I could have this finished in like 12 months.
Maybe.
2 years.
Maybe.
Or so-ish.
Or thereabouts.
All right, this is my third
Donor.
Yes, well done. My third donor piece. Started this recently. I call Fleur, my youngest daughter, Fleur Bear. She loves the movie Brave, so she begged me to start it, and here it is. Let me just show you what it's going to look like first. I've been forgetting that a little. This is where I'm at on the same 28 count linen, 1/1. And yeah, I'm really pleased. that bear, I have to say, is a lot of brown. I feel like I've been stitching brown forever already, and I don't think I'm even halfway or close to halfway through that bear yet. But it's moving, and I just tend to do. What happened? Oh, I had a Wheel of Stitches goal in October for 2,500 stitches, and I made that goal simply by 20 to 30 minutes sort of each day, and it came together. So I'm pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, cool Wheel of Stitches nomination, because the fact is that got you most of your progress. That's 2,700 stitches.
Yeah, wow.
That you're looking at there, which is 7%.
Ooh. So I might have 3 donors on the wall in like maybe, I don't know, 10 years or so. This one's fun. You love this one.
I love this.
I've always wanted to start an ink circles, and Barb was throwing out the idea around her birthday, so it was July. So I jumped on board, as I do, and I selected a different one to the one she's stitching on, but I love all the ink circles. It landed on Pentatonic, which is this one. It's part of the actual roll. I think you can do it as a roll your own and select your own color combos, but I actually like the colors, the called for colors, and I've stuck with him because why mess with a good thing, right? 18 count Ada, 2/1, went for a center start. I'd actually like way more on this than what I've got. I'm a bit disappointed actually with where I'm at on this.
Okay.
I thought there was more.
Okay.
This is where I'm at.
And that, for the record, is 2.5%. We're just shy of 870 stitches, 2.4%.
So I'm not even at 1,000.
No.
Oh, that's this. Okay, that's got to stay up.
You love it, you'll get there.
I really do like this one.
I'm glad you stuck to the called for. If it ain't broke, don't fix it and all that stuff. It's looking good.
Yeah, because you really like that colour palette too.
Yeah, I
didn't
do.
you?
I really do.
Yeah. I really like actually the way Tracy has given you that option from ink circles. I'd like to start another one day, but perhaps maybe I'll get this Pentatonic moving first. Yeah. There's actually, I'm also over on TikTok for those of you who would like to follow me over there, and I follow Hero and Stitch, and she jumped on this when she saw me start it. Wow, she's like 3/4 of the way through. You should see it. It looks amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well done, Hero and Stitch.
Yeah.
Next up.
Okay, so we've got here, this is a start that I made very recently, like, goodness, within the last month.
Yeah.
I started it with Nancy from Bohemian Stitchery. She started like saying how many charts that she has that she'd like to start. She had some women that would suit my wall of women, so I said throw some out there and let's get going on one. So she threw a whole range out there, which were all stunning, mind you. It was really difficult to choose, but this was the one that cropped up for me as the preferred favorite, and so I just got stuck straight into it. I do apologize. I actually can't remember who the designer is. It's a new designer to me, and it's completely gone. So I am sorry, but you will find it on Instagram if you're interested.
Have you named the piece? I don't think you named the piece.
Floral Woman?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's called Floral Woman. Did I not say that?
No.
Oh, starting to. Whew, I've said a lot now.
Yeah.
But yes, you can find the details on Instagram. I've recently posted it. 28 count, 1/1. This is where I'm at now. And I actually feel like I'm moving pretty quickly on this one. It's
Look,
gorgeous.
you must be, because it is about a month now. That's 1,500 stitches, 2%.
Wow. So there's a lot of block stitching on it, and it's quite small in terms of looking at the fabric. It's going to be quite teeny tiny, which is why we decided the 28 count. And this is another one actually that's been coming in really handy for my stitch games, because it's just a lot of solid block stitching. So I've been pulling this one out quite a lot. What I have noticed actually is I have not stitched my fabric, and the fray on this is starting to get a little crazy. So I better go and put a zigzag on that sooner rather than later. Look at it.
Yeah.
Like, actually look at that bit there.
It really is fraying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we might fix that.
Teeny tiny thing.
This is the smallest one I've got. Look at that. Can you pass me that, please? Thank you. I started this little kit a couple of weeks ago, maybe. Dimensions Gold Petite kit that I've had in my stash for some time now. And the other day just seemed like a good day to start, so I did. Using the cord for fabric and threads. It's an 18 count ivory Ada. And I truly did not realize that when they say petite, they really mean petite. I mean, yeah. Wow, tiny. We're going this way. Center. No, we're not. Yes, we are. And this is the start of her face and the grey flower.
Tiny. A hearty 127 stitches has gotten you 0.8% progress.
This is just here. I know, that is... What did you say?
127 stitches? Tending towards 0.8%.
Well, that's... Let's just clarify for the viewers. That's loose. If it's a paper chart and it's not full coverage, I do a bit of a guesstimate.
All right. Thereabouts.
Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if my guesstimates are right or not.
I enter what you tell me to.
But that's where... But that's... You don't question, you just do. That's right. Stick to that method and we'll be fine. So, Garden Lady, if you're interested in the title of that one. She's super cute. And who knows? I could have this finished next year. Look how super tiny. All right. Okay. So I did make reference to buying the chart that I wanted when I bought the golden ratio for Dylan, and that was a very well-known chart actually that a lot of people have started stitching on Instagram called Woman in a Field of Flowers, and it's by Stitches So Beautiful, who actually has a range, but there's one in particular that people have jumped on a hashtag for, and it's beautiful. And so of course I saw it. I think Pennington Terrace started it originally, and I just jumped on board as soon as I saw it. Stitching it, this is what it's going to look like, and I'm stitching it on a 25 count 1/1 Lugana. This is where I'm at.
That's just over 2,200 stitches into it and 1.4% progress.
So this has been pretty fun. Already I can see some action around her hair.
Yeah, some real good early action.
Dylan actually got me this needle minder, didn't you?
Yeah.
Do you know where you got this from? Because I've had a few people ask.
Could that be one from Adelaide?
Perhaps.
I think I might have gotten that at that stitchy shop in Adelaide. I may be mistaken, but I'm going to go with that.
Okay, well, it's very nice. A lot of people have acknowledged that, so there you go. It's very nice. So yeah, there's my Woman in a Field of Flowers. And she's pretty reasonable. Actually, is this the one that's 148?
1,000. I think there wasn't one that was 148, but I think there's 146 or something.
Oh, okay. So she's not that big. This is 25 count, not 28 count.
I've just done the maths. She's one of those. She's about 145-ish.
So this is one I would like to see a bit more regular progress on next year.
Yeah, to give you some comfort in terms of where you're at the moment and some motivation in respect to continuing, 2036 currently. So that's, where it sits in relation to other pieces and other finish dates. This is a real prospect.
Is that because she's still new though?
This is a real prospect now, at this point in time, for a finish.
All right. This is the last Malteser.
Last but not least.
No, this is the last. Yes?
Oh,
I'm not...
No?
The last.
No? Okay.
This is the last.
This is it.
And this is my most recent new start that I've been hanging out to start, actually. I purchased this big slab of 18 count light pink Ada at work the other day when I was just going for a bit of a stroll in the city. It was humongous, and I'm thinking, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. And then Carolyn Manning went and released the Star Touched Meadow Cell to commence on the 1st of November, representing a flower of the month for every month for a year. And I thought, wow, that's what that light pink fabric was for. Perfect. And I thought that that piece would suit it. Turns out I've still got 3 times the size of this piece with that light pink. So look out, I think I've got some more CM space on the fabric now. I'll put in a photo here. I don't actually have a photo of it because it is a cell that's being released. So you get the idea even with the sort of covering over the photo. The first chart came out, I started it on the 1st of November, and the first flower is chrysanthemum. This is how big the fabric is to give you some perspective. So I've chosen to stitch all 12 blocks on the same piece of fabric, and they are little mini representations of the Shooting Star collection, and they are so delicate and cute and tiny and charming. And let me get it a little bit closer for you. So this is the start of my chrysanthemum piece here. So on the Shooting Star collection, one of those little diamonds represents 41 stitches. However, she has reduced them down to be, I think, 12 or something, or whatever the maths works out to be. So reduced by about a quarter, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be super cute.
Yeah, so 260 stitches have gone into Star Touch Meadow, and that's nearly 0.4%.
Okay, I've got to step my game up then on this one. There's a few people stitching it. I think a few people have already put in the outline of the blocks so that they're ready to go each time one's released. That was my aim too. That never happened. Barb actually she got all her blocks in while I was still thinking about maybe doing it. So then we got to the 1st of November and I just started and thought, oh, well, stuff the blocks. But anyway, that's one that I'm working on. And it's actually my baby brother's birthday today. He's 33. Happy birthday, Joe. There is no way you will watch this, but I feel by putting it out there, happy birthday. So yeah, he's got the chrysanthemum block because I don't think we have any other November people, do we?
No, although we have November.
Oh yes, it's our anniversary in November. But no birthdays.
Not that I can think of.
No. So it'll be interesting to see, who gets each block as we move through, because you'll get the next one being December. And same with Fleur. Yeah, so this will be really fun. We are nearly at 2 hours. I'm pretty darn proud of ourselves, actually, for being so focused
episode
and committed to this cause.
I'll be equally proud of any viewers who have stuck it through with us, I think.
Me too. Are you still here? Are we talking to ourselves? You've got to see this. Look at this. Wow.
That's heavy.
Whew. That is one big pile that I now need to go put away because it's making me feel a little like I need to have everything back in order before I can start stitching again.
Not making you feel like you need to have everything finished?
No, actually.
Cool.
But I've certainly got a few in there that I want to keep out that I haven't worked on in a while. So that was actually really good to sort of go through and see where I'm at. I am going to try and take a picture of every one of these before I put them away. Actually put them in a little file and be ready for this time next year. I think that is a smart thing to do, because I'd actually really enjoy the before and afters on a WIP Parade. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this epic long video. It's been really great having a guest along today. Thank you for helping. And
thank you for having me, and thank you for watching. It's been an absolute joy spending the last hour and a bit, nearly 2 hours in fact, with you, and an absolute honour to make a cameo appearance on as a guest on our very special channel. Thank you.
I thank you for all my numbers, because you keep that part of the Stitch Me Sane show going, and it's a big chunk of, well, it frees up my stitchy time, so it's great.
Stitchy time for you.
More stitchy time for me. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend and getting lots of stitching done, getting some floss tube in, whatever it is that relaxes you. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Probably in December for when the silly season's on and Flossmas and all those fun things that I'm looking forward to. So happy stitching, everybody. Take care. See you all soon. Bye.